Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Painting Watercolours. I hope you enjoy this one. This is a photograph I got from a free website. I took the elements out that I wanted. I'll stick to the photograph reasonably well. But I will change one or two things. I've just left a thin film of water on the paper. It's £140 Bockingford. Paints I'm using are Sennelier and they are Naples yellow with alizarin crimson lake, cinereous blue and cobalt blue. If you don't have these colours, please use your own. In fact, I encourage that. Make it your very own painting. And I'm just going to drop this in. I'm going to allow this to run through into the snow. It's going to be a very simple sky. I think you'll appreciate that. I'm going to allow this to run into the land as well. If you enjoy these videos, please leave a comment if you find them helpful. It all helps with YouTube's algorithm and it helps me out as well. I'm going to take some of the Naples yellow and the alizarin crimson lake. I'm going to brush some of this in. I think that will do. And I'm going to take some of the cinereous blue, very cold blue. Watch it when you bring it into the yellow so you don't get green. I do like the Sennelier paints, but I do take issue with the browns. Burnt sienna is just a little red, too red for me, like a brick red. Prefer it more of the ginger colour, and the burnt umber is just a little chocolate brown rather than the dark gingery fiery brown that you normally get. Don't ask me why it's like that, I don't know. Cobalt blue in the sky, cinereous blue. Just going to bring these two colours together. A bit more on the top. And I'm going to allow this to drift into the snow line, I don't mind that. Strengthen it up in the corners if you wish to. It's all up to you. Then I'm just going to prop it up. And I'm going to leave that to dry. When I say dry, the paint is fixed to the paper, but the paper's still damp. I've just mixed up on the palette here some of the cobalt blue with the alizarin crimson and some burnt sienna in it just to make it grey. And I've done the same here with this one. This is just a thicker mixture, should I need to strengthen something up. And I'm going to put in some background trees, and I'm just wetting a brush. I'm just going to undulate this. That means up and down. It's a posh word for up and down. You're not really bothered if you lift any paint out on that. I'm going to take the weaker mix, give it a quick stir. This is very pale. It's sort of a very purpley grey. And this is an oil brush, and I'm using it on the tips. And I'm just going to allow this to drop in to the water and allow it to flood down or come down, depending how you want to put it. Let it float through. Bringing one or two tops out. I don't want them all the same height. And you can let this dry. Now that's dry, I just want to add some water onto this back field. I'm going to bring it round onto the front field here. I'm going to want to leave a white gap at the top so we have a separation. And I'm going to take that wheat mix, cobalt blue, burnt sienna, with a touch of alizarin crimson in. I'm just going to thicken it up with this one. This is a thicker mixture of it. I do want that just a little bit bluer. I'm going to lay this along the bottom here. Bring it round the field. It's a little bit stronger. So if you paint it in sections, you can adjust the strength of your paint. It makes it easier. Then I want to bring some of this through the field. It's just directional strokes. strengthen it up. And I'm going to leave that to dry. Now that's dry, we have a bush in the background here, and I'm going to put this in with a tree and texture brush, just a bristlehead brush. You can do this with an oval mop brush or an oval brush. Try not to get too much paint on the bristles. This one's in the background. I'm using the same colour as the snow. Just put a few sprinkles of this onto this tree. So I'm just touching the bristles on. I've put a little water onto the barn. I'm going to add some colour into that. Then I want to take some burnt sienna. I'm just going to drop this into the barn. Now I've only wet up to the roof, I've left the roof dry. I'll take some burnt umber, French ultramarine, that's burnt umber and French ultramarine. And we could drop a little bit of the snow colour in. Just begin to bring all this together. Bringing it slowly down towards the snow, peeling it off at the bottom. I don't really want a hard edge. French ultramarine and burnt umber there. Same brush. I don't want this to be too strong at the moment. Bring some branches in. That structure to it. Just going to turn this round. This is the snow colour once again, and I want to use it to bring the branches in. Just build your trees up slowly. We'll be putting another colour on these. Decide how much structure you want to put in. But being as this is winter, I do want to put a fair amount in. Just going to put that amount in a moment. We can add more to it if I wish to, but I'm going to let that dry. Just let that bush dry off a bit, so now we can come over the top of it without it all running together. I'll just put this branch in here, and I'm just going to put the foliage in over the top. Take a mixture of the same colour, cobalt blue, burnt sienna with some alizarin crimson lake or alizarin crimson. If you have that, it doesn't really matter. Just touching the brush on. Allowing plenty of gap between. ultramarine and burnt umber, just to darken the brown, just to add a little bit of shadow to the foliage you've got in. Works well for winter paintings, these colours. You can use an old oval oil painting brush for this. Just spread the hairs out. I'm going to take some French ultramarine and burnt umber once again, but this one is darker. It's a nice contrast to the tree trunks. Just dropping this in and allowing it to creep across. Looking the tree trunks a little bit rough. I'm going to take some of the silvery colour, very pale, and I want to bring this on the side of the barn, so I want to darken it a little bit. It's in shade. I'm going to take some French ultramarine and burnt umber, and underneath the eave I'm just going to drop this in, just to form a shadow. Take some damp brush and I'm just pulling this sort of down. Just attaching it to the ground. Then I'm just going to let that dry. I just put a few grasses in and branches on the bottoms of the trees with a detail brush and some French ultramarine and burnt umber. And once it's really dry, I'm taking a craft knife and I'm just putting some planks in, rather than painting them with a dark colour. I like a little bit of lighter stuff on it. Hope you can make that out. I can see it, that's the main thing. A little bit of water in the roof. I'm going to take some cobalt blue, very pale, just pull it down a little tiny bit. And I'm going to take some French ultramarine and burnt umber, not too much on the brush. And I'm just going to edge little bits of it out. Adding one or two strokes. I don't really want to do any more to that. I think what we could do is we could add a couple of birds in the sky. If you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button, consider subscribing, please leave a comment. All comments are welcome. This is where you get to sign it, put a mark around it and frame it. And always remember, don't fiddle. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.